You're with the Break-a-Leggers.
And we are in the heart of London's West End at the Wyndham's Theatre
To see the play Heisenberg, The Uncertainty Principle.
So stay tuned to find out how many legs...
Whether it's break a leg
or leg it. Before you lovely people go any further,
to make sure you've always got your finger on the theatrical pole,
for theatre news, reviews and interviews,
hit subscribe now.
So Heisenberg here in the heart of London. What do we know about this piece?
Well, it's a catchy title, isn't it?
Heisenberg.
That's going to be drawing the tourists to them in droves, I think. It's just so easy to remember and slips off the tongue.
It's written by, I guess, one of your favourite writers,
Yes.
Simon Stevens.
I love Simon Stevens. Simon Stevens has done Calm and Disruption at the Almeida, Birdland at the Royal Court, starring Andrew Scott.
Big fan over here. I guess his most notable piece is his adaptation of The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime.
Yes, which swept the awards a few years ago, has had successful productions mounted here in London, on a UK tour, on Broadway, and in a US tour.
Well, just to jump in, I think the link between that piece and this is the director. The director of Curious Incident of Dog Nighttime was Marianne Elliott, who is also the director of this piece.
Yes, and Marianne is top of her game right now. She's directed Angels in America recently at the National Theatre, which we caught, and you can see our review for that. Also, that's going over to Broadway, so wow. Warhorse, which was massively successful and adapted for screen by Steven Spielberg. So, you know, great credits to Marianne's name. And this piece actually launches a season of her work by her new production company, Elliott Parham Productions. So keep an eye out for what they've got coming up next. Actually, I'll talk about what they've got coming up next later.
Ooh, so keep your eye out for the end of this video. In this cast we have, is it a cast of two?
Cast of two, just a two-hander.
Two-hander, one of which is Marianne Duff.
Yeah, Marianne Duff, who did
Common just recently, this year, a few months ago in fact, at the National Theatre.
Many credits, stage and screen, including Shameless. She did a few seasons of that. And also Kenneth Cranham, who's a stalwart of the stage himself. He won Olivier Award last year, maybe, for The Father.
The Father, yes.
Yes, which we didn't see, unfortunately.
No, but he was very highly praised for his work on that.
Yeah, so it'd be great to see him. Set design work is by Bunny Christie.
We love Bunny Christie. She did Curious Incident of Dog Nighttime, People, Places and Things, as well as a whole heap of other stuff.
Yes.
Very nice.
I don't know much about the actual plot to this one. I just know it's about a chance encounter between two people, using Heisenberg as a kind of linchpin to the whole thing, an undercurrent of it, but I don't think it's overly scientific. So we've learned a bit about Heisenberg principle on the way here. It's confusing as all hell. But I don't think we're going to need to know much more than the basics to hopefully enjoy this piece, which is how long?
Is it 80, 90 minutes straight through?
Yeah,
one act straight through?
One act straight through, under an hour and a half. So wham bam, thank you ma'am. We'll catch you at the end.
We have come to the end of Heisenberg, The Uncertainty Principle, here at the Wyndham's Theatre in London's West End. So, what did you think of that?
It was a bit of a slog, to be honest. The problem is it's a rare miss for me from Simon Stevens. The piece, I mean, has some nice touches, has some nice elements, but overall it didn't compel, it didn't emote, it didn't stir a sense of intrigue or even compassion to the story and to the characters, and as a result
How do you feel?
I felt a bit like I'd wasted some time. How about you?
Yeah, it's almost a shallow way to describe it, but it is a bit dull. I think that the two characters are extremely complex and almost very well observed. The way they come together is extremely unbelievable, really, because I guess the only thing they're playing on is the age difference, and it's almost unbelievable that these two very much opposites how they could attract. I kind of bought into that, and
I think a lot of it is there's a vested interest from the younger character as to why she's trying to seduce and enter the life of this older man. But it almost goes a step too far with that. It almost feels like if it's going to be a shallow reasoning and it's going to be a self-serving motivation, that's fine, keep it as that. But I don't think this knew what it was. I don't think it knew what the attraction should be and how that should play out. It just felt like a collection of ideas, but it never really stuck with a single one.
no. I guess tapping into the name Heisenberg, there could be some parallels between a stable and then someone else being chaotic, almost a little bit like a mosquitoes in terms of the two sisters, one being quite stable and the other being quite chaotic. But apart from that, I don't. It's just not much. There was a few nodders in the audience, a few head drops
Yes, and I
and
heard some
catches.
very derogatory comments coming out. The words terrible and odd and pointless, I think, heard mentioned by the crowd on the way out. Now, art is very subjective. Theatre is very, very subjective. Maybe we didn't get a lot from it, maybe they didn't get a lot from it, maybe someone else thought it was the best thing they ever seen. I don't know.
However, in terms of performances, there was nothing wrong with them as performers.
No, and
so it's not them as a cast, because they are very capable. Anne-Marie Duff was pretty brilliant. I
Yeah,
thought.
absolutely. She got it to show a range here that she didn't get in common, and but I can see why she wins those roles. She's very, very, very capable.
Yeah.
She's very natural. I was thinking actually, I could see her in People, Places and Things.
Yeah, she'd be great in
I
People,
think
Places
she
and
would
Things.
be a great Emma. I almost
She
feel
would.
like she could match Denise Gough in that sense of presence.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't think at all she was miscast. I mean, maybe it's a piece that she thinks, do you know what, that's Denise's, that's been done. She may well not want to touch it, but I would love to see her do it.
Yeah, she's very capable. Even in Common, even though Common wasn't that great, you could tell that she was good.
Yes.
And he
Kenneth
was,
Cranham?
yeah, he was good as well. He was stable. He was kind of
Consistent.
trusted.
Yeah, I mean, he's an old man. He was a believable old man.
A very different dynamic to Anne-Marie Duff's character, and he played that off very well. Very still, very kind of steady. Yeah, I've got to say the set.
The set was simple, yet very elegant, very beautiful. I think in collaboration with the lighting, I think that really helped. I think Bunny getting on board with a great lighting designer has definitely kind of led to something. Did she do Red Barn?
No, we're going to have to check this out. But I almost thought there were quite some similarities. Let's grab the programme.
Just have a look.
There were similarities between this and the Red Barn in terms of the movement of the set. Almost in reverse, and not as complex, but beautifully silhouetted as well. So
Yeah, with the lighting.
could she have done Red Barn?
Could she have done the Red Barn? That's a very good question.
Let's check it out.
Yes!
She did Red Barn.
And
Okay,
it felt like the Red Barn.
So the Red Barn, in terms of that, was at the National Theatre, and we caught that, I think, just at the tail end of the last year, December.
New Year's
Oh,
Eve.
New Year's Eve. So you can catch our review for that just up there.
There's also a great video. I suggest that you look it up about how that set works. The National
In fact,
Theatre did
we
a
shall
great
link
video.
that up
Yes.
just there as well.
And this is a very similar set to that in a lot of respects.
Yeah, so
I can see
very-
where they got the ideas, what Bunny was working with.
Working with exactly the same themes in terms of the walls moving, the sight
Yeah.
going up and down, but instead of it being at the front, for this it was at the back.
And actually, very, very similarly to Red Barn, that's probably the best thing about both pieces.
Yes.
You know.
Also good use of things coming up and down from the floor elevation, moved very swiftly.
And I appreciate the soundscaping. I appreciated having background music. I appreciated having those little segues of almost choreographed movement, the movement direction.
What did
At
you
least it was
think of the movement direction and the kind of contemporary movement?
I was interested in it. What angered me is a lot of people used it as an excuse to unwrap their candies, cough, have a drink, and not pay any attention to it. I was thinking, if this wasn't important, it wouldn't be there. It's not just an excuse for you to, tune out, zone out for a moment and do other things, check your phone. That annoyed me. I quite liked it as a concept.
I like movement. I like that it's shaken up. However, in this, it felt a bit half a bit of half of an effort. It wasn't truly committed.
Half-assed.
Well, I was trying to be nice about it, but yes, that's it. It didn't seem fully committed. I think if you're going to commit to something and do something contemporary movement, then it needs to be fully in the body, fully extended, and it wasn't for me. It was almost a bit thrown away.
That's what we thought anyway, so I bet you're wondering how many legs we are going to give this piece.
So for Heisenberg, we are going to give 2. Just 2 legs.
Yeah, less than average really, to be honest. There were some nice performances, but I think both of the stars are probably one for the actors and one for the set and lighting.
Yeah,
That's
a bit of a
really.
miss.
Sorry,
by,
Si.
Simon. We look forward to his other work, but no.
Yeah.
Did you have some exciting news about
Yes, so
Marianne Elliott?
I mentioned earlier the Elliott Harper production company that Marianne Elliott has founded in collaboration with Mr. Harper is going to be staging next year a brand new revival of
Company.
Yes, Steve and Sondheim's Company. Now, a little bit different this one in so much as they're going for a gender swap.
Yes, Bobby is going to be played by none other than Rosalie Craig.
Yeah, written as a man, typically played as a man, and now Rosalie Craig's going into it. But
Yes.
hold the phones.
Hold the phones, because coming from across the pond is
The goddess herself, Patti LuPone. Patti LuPone.
And why do you say her?
Because her diction isn't brilliant, but
It's kind of
she is fierce. That's the first time I've used the word fierce. Oh, and that's the second.
So a very interesting casting, very exciting casting.
Yes, we're
Gender
booked in
swapping.
to see that. Very exciting. So keep your eye on Elliott Harper. Bit of a weird start, kind of fallen off the blocks really, not off to a great one, but hopefully that's going to really surprise us.
Well, that's what we thought about it.
Did you think?
Yeah, please let us know.
Yeah, like, subscribe,
Leave your comments below.
follow us on Twitter. We're the Breaker Leggers.
We'll catch you again soon. Bye.